WWE NXT UK Results January 13, 22 First match, Dave Mastiff and Jack Starz vs Teoman and Rohana Raja with Charlie Dempsey in a semi-final match in the number 1 Contenders tournament for the WWE NXT UK Tag Team Championship. Jack Starz and Rohana Raja will start things off. Collar and elbow tie up. Raja applies a front face lock. Raja launches Starz to the corner. Strong lock up. Starz applies a front face lock. Raja tells Starz to bring it. Raja applies a waist lock. Raja denies the ankle pick. Starz applies an arm bar. Starz hyperextends the left shoulder of Raja. Starz with a double leg takedown. Starz applies a side headlock. Raja with the Irish whip. Starz dives over Raja. Starz with 2 drop kicks. Starz with a gut wrench suplex for a 2 count. Starz tags in Mastiff. Tioman tells Raja to bring Mastiff down. Collar and elbow tie up. Raja applies a side headlock. Mastiff whips Raja across the ring. Raja runs into Mastiff. Shoulder block exchange. Raja tags in Tioman. Mastiff with a double shoulder tackle. Mastiff slams Teoman's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Mastiff tags in Starz. Starz with a shot to the midsection of Tioman. Following a snapmare takeover, Starz uppercuts the back of Teoman's neck for a 1 count. Starz punches Tioman in the back. Starz applies a front face lock. Starz tags in Mastiff. Mastiff body slams Tioman. Starz tags himself in. Mastiff with a running sentence splash. Starz with the slingshot splash for a 2 count. Starz tags in Mastiff. Mastiff with a shoulder block. Mastiff tags in Starz. Flying uppercut / spinebuster combination for a 1 count. Tioman applies a wrist lock. Starz kicks Tioman in the gut. Starz whips Tioman across the ring. Dempsey pulls Tioman out of the ring. Familia gangs up on Starz behind the referee's back. Tioman rolls Starz back into the ring. Tioman delivers the missile drop kick for a 2 count. Tioman applies a front face lock. Tioman hammers down on the back of Starz's neck. Tioman slams Starz's head on the top turnbuckle pad. Tioman tags in Raja. Raja repeatedly stomps on Starz's chest. Raja whips Starz into the turnbuckles. Raja tags in Tioman. Raja levels Starz with the body avalanche. Tioman clotheslines Starz for a 2 count. Tioman applies a kneeling arm bar. Tioman hammers down on the left shoulder of Starz. Tioman tags in Raja. Raja with a gut punch. Raja goes after the wrists of Starz. Raja brings Starz down to the mat for a 2 count. Raja with a forearm smash. Starz uppercuts Raja. Starz is displaying his fighting spirit. Raja stops Starz in his tracks. Starz slides through the ring skirt. Starz rocks Tioman with a forearm smash. Starz with a shoulder block. Starz slips over Raja's back. Starz tags in Mastiff. Mastiff with a shoulder tackle. Mastiff knocks Tioman off the ring apron. Mastiff ducks a clothesline from Raja. Mastiff with a running crossbody block. Mastiff with a back body drop. Mastiff launches Tioman over the top rope. Raja kicks Mastiff in the gut. Raja goes for the vertical suplex, but Mastiff counters with the rolling senton. Mastiff with a senton / drop kick combination. The referee is trying to get Tioman out of the ring. Dempsey pulls Starz off the apron. Raja fights out of the fireman's carry position. Dempsey walks into a gala strap. Mastiff connects with the bridging German suplex to pick up the victory. After the match, Familia gets into a Pier 6 brawl with Gallus. Winner, Dave Mastiff and Jack Starz via pinfall. We had a video recap of last week's NXT UK Women's Championship match with Meiko Satomura and Blair Davenport. Per Sid Scala, next week on NXT UK, Pretty Deadly will battle Sam Gradwell and a partner of his choosing. Second match, Stevie Turner vs Amale. Ginny joins the commentary team for this match. Amale dodges the running boot. Amale with forearm shivers. Amale with a knife-edge chop. Short arm reversal by Turner. Turner with a forearm smash. Turner whips Amale across the ring. Amale drops Turner with a shoulder tackle. Amale with a corner clothesline. Turner escapes the side headlock. Turner kicks Amale in the gut. Amale dumps Turner out of the ring. Amale tells Turner to bring it. Turner with a toe kick. Turner with a running boot. Amale answers with the running bulldog. Turner avoids the hell of a kick. Turner blocks a boot from Amale. Turner with the draping neck breaker. Turner stomps on Amale's chest. Turner transitions into a ground and pound attack for a 1 count. Turner applies an arm bar. Amale with heavy body shots. Turner with a toe kick. Turner punches Amale in the back. Turner with a knee lift for a 2 count. Turner applies a nerve hold. Turner transitions into a top wrist lock. Amale with liver shots. Turner fires back with 3 running boots for a 2 count. Amale denies the Uranage slam. Turner sends Amale to the corner. Amale decks Turner with a back elbow smash. Amale ducks a clothesline from Turner. Amale with 2 clotheslines. Turner kicks Amale in the gut. Amale reverses out of the Irish whip from Turner. Amale body slams Turner. Amale with a shotgun dropkick. Amale nails Turner with the running boot. Amale connects with the Hope Breaker to pick up the victory. Winner, Amale via pinfall. Third match, Walter vs Nathan. Frazer collar and elbow tie up. Walter with a release headlock takeover. Walter tells Frazer to bring it. Test of strength. Walter backs Frazer into the turnbuckles. The referee calls for a clean break. Frazer avoids the knife-edge chop. Strong lock up. Walter applies a wrist lock. Walter with a wrist lock takedown. Frazer drop kicks Walter. Frazer applies a front face lock. Walter brings Frazer to the ring apron. Frazer slaps Walter in the face. Frazer with a haymaker / hamstring kick combination. Walter drives his knee into the midsection of Frazer. Walt sends Frazer to the corner. Frazer decks Walter with a back elbow smash. Walter catches Frazer in mid-air. Walter puts Frazer on the top turnbuckle pad. Walter slaps Frazer in the chest. Walter is choking Frazer with his boot. Frazer tumbles to the floor. Walter punches Frazer in the back. Walter stomps on Frazer's back. Frazer with 3 knife-edge chops. Walter body slams Frazer. Walter tells Frazer to stand up. Walter goes for another body slam, but Frazer lands back on his feet. Walter launches Frazer across the ring. Frazer ducks a clothesline from Walter. Walter avoids the quebrada. Walter applies the sleeper hold. Frazer with an arm wringer. Frazer with clubbing hamstring kicks. Frazer follows that with 2 flying forearm smashes. Walter leapfrogs over Frazer. Walter drops Frazer with the big boot. Walter applies the bow and arrow stretch. Walter stands on Frazer's back. Frazer kicks Walter in the face. Walter with a running shoulder tackle. Walter cranks on Frazer's neck. Walter with a clubbing blow to Frazer's chest. Walter applies a rear chin lock. Frazer with heavy body shots. Walter uppercuts Frazer. Walter talks smack to Frazer. Frazer unloads a series of knife-edge chops. Frazer with clubbing hamstring kicks. Walter floors Frazer with the overhand chop. Walter goes for a powerbomb, but Frazer counters with the Hurricane Rana for a 2 count. Walter with a knife-edge chop. Walter gets Frazer tied up in the ropes. Walter with clubbing blows to Frazer's chest. Walter goes back to the sleeper hold. Frazer with a headlock takeover. Frazer avoids the shotgun dropkick. Frazer with the standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Fraser with clubbing blows to Walter's back. Walter applies the sleeper hold. Walter goes for a release German suplex, but Fraser lands back on his feet. Walter with the big boot. Walter goes for the powerbomb, but Fraser counters with the sunset flip for a 2 count. Fraser continues to kick the left hamstring of Walter. Fraser with forearm shivers. Walter drives his knee into the midsection of Fraser. Walter whips Fraser across the ring. Fraser slides under Walter. Fraser with 2 super kicks. Walter leapfrogs over Fraser. Fraser with the spin out elbow drop. Walter regroups on the outside. Walter catches Fraser in mid-air. Fraser super kicks Walter. Fraser drop kicks Walter into the ringside barricade. Walter gets back in the ring at the count of 8. Fraser with another round of hamstring kicks. Walter rocks Fraser with a forearm smash. Fraser with 2 chop blocks. Walter dumps Fraser over the top rope. Fraser with an apron enziguri. Walter chops Fraser in mid-air. Walter goes for a powerbomb, but Fraser lands back on his feet. Fraser super kicks Walter. Fraser hits the curb stomp. Fraser connects with the frog splash for a 2 count. Walter knocks Fraser off the top turnbuckle. Walter plants Fraser with the powerbomb to pick up the victory. Winner, Walter via pinfall.